Well, I had an interesting item show up on my Instagram feed today, and it got me thinking. It's from one of my favorite cheap, nostalgic fragrance houses, and I figured we'd talk about it today and discuss my thoughts because I'm kind of all over the place with this one. I'm talking about the newly announced Nautica Oceans. Stay tuned. So as you can see here, we're taking a look at iFragrance Official on Instagram once again, just like last time when I did the last video podcast style where we were discussing some of the new releases I was excited about. And this is specifically about this one particular fragrance. You can actually see right here that it's all of what their Instagram stories is about, and except for this particular Cartier one, but they do have a few for their Instagram stories. Not too worried about the Cartier releases for the ladies at the moment, but I was very intrigued by this. So we've had a Nautica Oceans come out before, and this one in particular says it's a new woody aquatic fragrance for men launched in 2021. Okay, a brilliant sea salt accord inspired by an olfactive odyssey to the shores of Tasmania. It's a reflection of the calming yet energizing contrast between the ebb and flow of the ocean waves. Evokes an air of clarity with fresh, clean marine notes backed by the pronounced warmth and complexity of amberwood for a raw yet refined olfactive experience. Nautica Oceans is a unique alcohol-free fragrance with eco-conscious design and packaging. Inspired by living life on the water, the fresh and long-lasting scent captures the essence and energy of the ocean with aquatic accords and masculine woods. Notes of sea salt accord and amberwood. So this is what's very intriguing to me. This is why, I believe it or not, this one's been on my mind most of the day. I saw this earlier this morning when I was at the gym, when I was on the treadmill looking at my Instagram feed. I saw this one, and it's interesting because we've had alcohol-free fragrances from Nautica before. I don't personally have one. The old Nautica Oceans, my stepdad actually has a bottle of it, still does. And it's spoiled at this point, but he does have a bottle of it. I do recall a few years ago when I had went home during the summer like I usually do, I had noticed that he had a bottle of it. And it's kind of a collector's item at this point. It's not really usable for him because it has spoiled. He's got about half a bottle, and this one's going to be alcohol-free once again, but I believe this sea salt accord and amberwood's not telling the whole story, but the most interesting thing is it says the long-lasting scent captures the essence and energy of the ocean. So Nautica is not known for making long-lasting fragrances. If I had to sit here and pick two that are the longest lasting, they're from the Nautica Voyage line. It's Nautica Voyage and Midnight Voyage, which Midnight Voyage is definitely what I would consider as the last release from Nautica, even worth really talking about, because it's kind of like Nautica Voyage mixing with Sauvage. It's actually quite nice. Not the easiest thing to find. It's easier to find than it was before. Supposedly amber and a 3-note breakdown, but it smells like Nautica Voyage mixed with Sauvage. I really do enjoy this one. I featured this in my blue fragrance video about a little over a month ago, and because it's a blue fragrance through and through, and then the most popular one being the original Nautica Voyage. That's why I have these two handy for this discussion. So would I ever want to pay retail for a Nautica fragrance? Absolutely not. They've never proven to me that they deserve retail. And I doubt they ever will prove it to me. Now, based on what they're saying here, it sounds like they're trying to ramp things up with performance, but that's yet to be determined. They could say that, but reality might be completely different. Amberwood does give it an opportunity to have better performance. This could be some super loud fragrance that lasts 6 to 8 hours, which would be a complete departure from most Nautica, pretty much all Nautica fragrances. Now, what do I think this is going to smell like? This is another thing that's been on my mind. Based on just these two things that they're giving us here, amberwood and sea salt accord, I have a feeling that this is going to go down the path of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. That's what my gut's telling me. I may be wrong. I very well could be wrong, but based on the information given, I think that's going to be the route that this scent goes. And if it ends up being the case, let's say it ends up being a fragrance that lasts 6 to 8 hours. That's an ideal situation in performance for Nautica. It will get cheap. It will make its way down to super cheapy territory, as most Nautica fragrances do. Obviously, the new releases take a little longer, but if this goes in the $20 to $30 realm and it performs decent, we might have cheapy of the year candidate here, as long as it gets cheap pretty quickly. Because a lot of you that have watched me for a long time, you know that I like Nautica fragrances, especially out the shower. They're great. If you're on a hyper budget and you just want something fresh and clean, and you're not too worried about performance, you don't mind respraying, they get the job done. And I mean, they don't get more popular than this one when it comes to a fragrance under $20 that is just beloved and smells great. But all of them have their place, especially if you're on a hyper budget, or if you're like me and you just like something fresh and clean and aquatic out the shower that doesn't perform that well. So your more expensive fragrances get preserved for your daily drivers, your work fragrances, your evenings, different situations. That's pretty much what I use Nautica fragrances for. But this one intrigued me so much that I'm making it a point to make a video about a Nautica fragrance that's not even on the market yet. So that should tell you I'm actually quite excited about this fragrance. I'm eager to see what it ends up being. I may, not saying I will, may pay retail for this one, just so I can experience it as quickly as possible. Because if I was, a worst case scenario is it takes 6 months to get cheap. I don't want to wait 6 months for this one, to be completely honest with you. I think this has a chance to kind of flip the envelope a little bit for Nautica as a fragrance house, because they're just cheap synthetic aquatic fragrances. That's what everybody's going to say about them, because that's reality for them. And I'm sure this is going to be synthetic, and I'm sure it will get cheap, but I believe this one has an opportunity to perform because it has amberwood. They're even making a bold claim and calling it a long-lasting fragrance outright in its description upon press release here. So I'm excited to check this one out. Like I said, I may even pull the trigger and pay retail for this one. It's not going to be crazy expensive, I would think, depending on the bottle sizes available. Does it say anything about bottle size? No. So it doesn't say what bottle sizes it'll be released in, but I would say at the most for 100 ml is $50-$60, which that's a lot for a Nautica fragrance. But I have high hopes for this one. I really do. Like I said, it intrigued me so much that I'm sitting here recording a video podcast discussion video about it. Are any of you excited about this release? Let me know down in the comments section, because I know I'm not the only one that follows iFragrance. And if you're not following iFragrance, there's a link down below. Check them out. This is a great Instagram account to follow. And while you're at it, you see my tag on the screen. There's a link for TLTG Reviews Instagram account as well if you want to follow me and check me out. Scent of the day post, different news updates on my upcoming fragrance collaboration. That's where the majority of everything's going on. And yeah, so I don't know how the audio quality is. This just came in the mail. I did recently just go ahead and get a new Mayono microphone, as well as you can see the headset here. You can see the logo. So I will be doing these video podcast discussions. I will be starting a new series. We will have some guests on here as well. I do have the first episode with a guest I'm filming this weekend. I already have next weekend's lined up. I have a lot of people in mind that I'll be speaking to. Hope you guys like this type of content. I did the first video podcast style presentation and I got a lot of good feedback, so I went ahead and grabbed the proper equipment for something like this, and we're going to do things the right way. But as far as Nautica Oceans, I got to tell y'all, I am very, very excited about this. I don't know who else is, but I'm definitely excited about this fragrance. So dare I say, I may end up buying a Nautica fragrance for retail upon release. As crazy as that sounds, that's how excited I am for this fragrance. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead, like this video, comment down below if you're excited about it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Nautica Oceans and you give it a spray now, I have no idea if you'll thank me or not later, because I don't know if I would recommend you guys buy it for retail, but I may do it so you don't have to. Have a good one, guys.